This is the Dave Stieren Show on KFQD.
Coming to us now live from Queensland, Australia. He is stationed at J. Barry's with the 4th Brigade Combat Team of the 25th Infantry Division. Captain Chase Spears. Captain, welcome to the Dave Stieren Show.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It's great to be talking with you.
Now I understand you're down there in beautiful Queensland, Australia, where there is a Outback Steakhouse restaurant in every street corner. That may or may not be true.
Well, I can't verify whether there's an Outback Steakhouse or not, but I can tell you it's kind of I've seen plenty of share kangaroos and boomerangs, so I'm thinking when I first get back to Anchorage that the Outback there downtown may have to be my first stop just to relive the adventure here a little bit.
Now, I don't know, you sound like a young guy, so I don't even know if you'll get the joke, but if there is a Men at Work concert going on at any point down in Australia, you guys, of course, have to attend.
I'll have to do my research on that one.
Oh my God, I'm gonna go get my walker and just limp on down the hallway. So what are you guys doing down in Australia? Is Australia in mortal peril of being invaded? What are guys from Alaska doing defending or training with the Aussies?
Well, we've actually had a long partnership with the Australian Defence Force. You know, Australia has stood with us for many, many years now in pretty much every major conflict since World War I. So we as a brigade had partnered with them back in 2011, the last time they did Talisman Saber. And I'll tell you a little bit about the exercise. It's a biannual exercise that combines about 15,000 U.S. and 7,000 Australian personnel across not only the Department of Defense but other supporting governmental agencies. But what we're doing is we're validating our training objectives as an light Airborne Brigade Combat Team from Alaska, and we're demonstrating our partnership with our Australian allies because the fact of the matter is we train as we fight, and every major conflict that we've gone into with partners, and so we train with partners.
How did you guys arrive in Australia?
Oh, man, that's the best part of all. So Thursday night, we took off from J-Bear. The partnership goes so far beyond even just what we're doing with the Australians. The Air Force played a key role in this as well. We took off from Joint Base Amador-Richardson there late Thursday night aboard 5 C-17 transports, and we flew straight line distance, did an in-flight refuel somewhere around Hawaii, and we landed on our feet here Saturday morning. We jumped in, and we've been operating as a light Airborne Infantry Brigade Combat Team in a very austere environment ever since.
So you didn't even get the courtesy landing to go through duty free and then hop on a bus to head out. You parachuted in.
We parachuted in and we went straight into the mission, which was, in our scenario, we were capturing, we call it seizing a lodgment. In layman's terms, we were securing an airfield and expanding a security perimeter around that so that then follow-on forces could land and supplies could come in and the military's other military apparatuses could operate from there, which is basically our key mission set as an airborne brigade. We go in where no one else can go. When the roads don't go there and there isn't a beach or river to get there, if a plane can fly over, we can jump into it, we secure it, and we hold that key piece of terrain so that others can follow.
You know, there is this belief, and we're speaking with, by the way, you got to thank your parents. We're speaking with Captain Chase Spears with the 4th Brigade Combat Team of the 25th Infantry Division. I mean, Captain Chase Spears, that's like one of them Hollywood names. Did they call you Captain Hollywood from time to time? Certainly, probably not to your face.
Well, not to my face. So I tell you what, back when if you're familiar with Band of Brothers, there's a very well-known character in there called Lieutenant Spears. And when I was a lieutenant, people just couldn't get enough of asking me for a cigarette.
Which, of course, nobody in the Army smokes anymore, right?
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. So you land, you drop in. What was your first interaction with members of the Australian Defence Force?
Well, actually, we've been interacting with them for a few days prior. We had 5 Australian jump masters and then an L&O officer, Captain Rob Watchorn, who flew up to Alaska and spent about a week with us. So before we flew down here, we actually did 2 what we call foreign wing exchanges. that's where we have Australian jump masters conduct jump operations with us. And when you do that, that entitles you to wear the parachute badge of the other nation. So it's kind of a big deal in the Airborne Corps when you get to wear a set of foreign wings. It kind of sets you apart as a paratrooper versus a soldier who attended airborne school but did not then serve as a paratrooper afterwards. So they were with us for about a week. We had a chance just to talk to them about the mission, talk to them about Shoalwater Bay, swap stories. We shared a little bit of Alaska culture and history with them, and they were on the flights with us. And then the 5 Australian jump masters, 1 per bird, helped put us out the door here in Shoalwater Bay, and then Captain Rochhorn jumped in with us and has been with us at our side ever since. So we've been interacting for the whole mission.
Take us through the process that drives an individual like yourself to take the career path to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
I get asked that a lot. Everyone has different ways of how they got there. Some soldiers, they're just born. They know they want to be airborne infantry, and some people come up a little bit differently. My personal story was I showed up to a unit that was not a full airborne unit. It was the 55th Combat Camera Company of Fort Meade, Maryland, and but they had airborne slots, and they needed to fill it, and they asked if I wanted to go, and I said, "Are you crazy? Jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I think I'll pass." And kept joking around with the training sergeant about it, and he kept bugging me to go. And one day he called me and said, "Hey, you have orders. You go in 7 weeks." And I said, "Well, I got to go. I've got soldiers to lead, and the last thing I can afford as a leader is to not go. And I've got this great opportunity." And I went, and I fell in love with it. People say, "How do you do it?" And in all honesty, I don't think about it. It's training. When you're in the aircraft, you go through a series of commands, you go through a series of checks, and as the jump masters are calling out those commands, I don't even consciously think about what I'm about to do. It's just muscle memory, and they say go, and I go, and once I'm in the breeze and I'm under a canopy, I've got the best view of anyone else in town of the local area, and I love it.
I've got to say that either people who pilot small general aviation aircraft, I've spoken with either active duty personnel who've earned their jump wings or are full blown paratroopers like yourself, and they said there is this few precious moments of peace as you get out of the airplane and you have the count and you feel that tug or not tug, like bone jarring jerk, and then you're just there and you've got nothing to do but wait to land, and it's one of the most surreal experiences that they ever have. How many jumps do you have under your belt?
I've got about 30, and I can absolutely verify what you say. When you come out of the plane, it's kind of like I compare it to walking in a tornado because the plane's flying about 140 knots, and you're going from your body's moving at that speed and going from that to the ambient air movement in about 3 seconds. So it's a lot of air, a lot of breeze, a lot of gravity at work. But then once that stops, there is no place quieter and no place more peaceful than being at 1,000 feet, especially over Mount Mute Drop Zone there at J-Bear. I'd tell you one of the best jumps I did. I came out, it was a clear day, and Denali was just lit up like a gem, and it was just one of the most amazing things. I'll never forget it.
Did you ever do any moose spotting while you're up there floating down? Like, okay, all right, so we'll land. It's going to be a 5-mile hike back to base. All right, I'm going to go after my moose after that. I should put him somewhere around there. I should be good. I haven't noticed any from the air before, but we do see our share of moose and other critters as we're driving out to the drop zone and back and forth. One day I was out there and a black bear actually showed up and hopped in the back of one of our trucks, so I just missed that by a few minutes, but I'm told it was quite the adventure for those who were helping to chase him out. We're speaking with Captain Chase Spears, who is with the 4th Brigade Combat Team, 25th Infantry Division. We didn't wake you up. You're down there in Queensland, Australia. What is it, just about 9 a.m. Local time there?
Yep, coming up on 9 here.
So what is on the declassified menu for today for you guys?
Well, today's really the big day for us. Well, I said biggest day since we jumped in. Obviously, that was a big day. Mm-hmm. We've been doing partnered security operations with the Australian Defence Force since, but today is really neat because it's our final full day here in the field, and we have an air assault coming up today. So we'll be pushing about a company worth out to capture several high-value targets that are leaders of the Khmerian forces in the scenario that we're in. So it's really kind of taking me back to my memories of when we were in Afghanistan and doing these air assault missions and seeing the planning happening again. So that's our big event happening today. And then once that's complete, I'm sure there'll probably be some other things injected into the scenario, but that's the major muscle movement for today, is getting these paratroopers on these Australian aircraft. And, that's true partnership right there. The Aussies are flying us out there, and we're going to take care of the bad guys. So
who do I need to call for you guys to set up the after exercise Kager social mixer? You got a name that I just need to pick up the phone and call to give you guys a little downtime when you're down there?
I tell you, we've got a morale day coming up on Sunday, and
I love that. I got to take a morale day today.
Yeah, it's great. We've got two groups. One group's going to go to one of these zoos here, and then the other group, of which I'm a part, is going to go out and do a little snorkeling over the Great Barrier Reef, and I can't wait.
Well, I don't want to alarm you, but it is Shark Week. I am just putting that out there in case, and you're a day ahead of us, so your Shark Week will start a day ahead of up here in Alaska. Captain Chase Spears, thank you so much for the voodoo that you do so well, and our best to you and all of the troops that are down there in Queensland, Australia.
Oh, well, thanks so much for having us. We appreciate the support, and we're looking forward to coming back home and sharing the stories we learned down here.
Fantastic. Hey, I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to get your contact info and have you come on when you guys return.
I'd love that. Thanks.
All right, hang on just a second. That is Captain Chase Spears.